He hadn't seen her in 2 years. Not since they said their quiet goodbye. Somewhere in the middle of a war zone. She was more than just a dog. She was the reason he made it home alive. And now, standing at a busy airport, his hands were shaking. Because in just a few seconds, the doors would open. And the dog who saved his life would walk through. Before we begin, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell, so you never miss another emotional story. When Staff Sergeant Tom Hansen first met Taylor, she wasn't just a dog. She was a soldier, just like him. A small Labrador with sharp eyes, trained to sniff out danger. Tom had no idea this dog would soon become his shadow, his protector, and his reason for coming home alive. Their first mission was tense. A quiet mountain pass in Afghanistan. Nothing but wind and silence. Taylor walked ahead, nose low to the ground. Her tail still, like a wire pulled tight. Then suddenly, she froze. Tom's heart skipped. Her nose circled the dirt. Again. And again. She was trying to tell him something. But he didn't understand. Frustrated, he stepped forward. And then he saw it. An IED. Buried just an inch from his boot. That day, Tom learned a lesson he would never forget. Always trust your dog. After that, they became inseparable. Taylor led every mission, sniffing out bombs, saving lives. And every time they made it back safely, Tom would toss her a battered tennis ball. To anyone else, it was just a ball. To them, it meant they both survived. But war doesn't let anyone stay together forever. Tom's deployment ended. Taylor stayed behind, still needed by another handler. Orders were orders. Tom boarded the plane home, alone. For the first time in years, his shadow was gone. At night, the silence was deafening. No paws on the floor. No cold nose nudging his hand after a nightmare. She was more than just a working dog. She was family. And now, she was a memory. Life moved forward, kind of. Tom fell in love with Emily. A medic who understood exactly what war takes from a person. But even on his happiest days, part of him was still out there, with Taylor. Then, one phone call changed everything. She's retiring, they said. She can come home. Tom's heart raced, but there was a catch. Bringing her back would cost thousands. Flights. Quarantine. Endless paperwork. Money Tom didn't have. But sometimes, angels walk among us. And this time, her name was Molly Oliver. Molly wasn't a soldier. She was a flight attendant, with a mission of her own. She spent her savings reuniting retired military dogs with their handlers. When she heard about Taylor and Tom, she knew this reunion had to happen. At the airport, Tom's hands wouldn't stop shaking. Every time the doors slid open, he held his breath. And then, there she was. Golden fur, gray around her muzzle. Her head tilted. She sniffed the air, confused for just a moment. And then came his voice. Taylor, hey girl. She knew. She ran, full speed. Tail wagging so hard, her whole body followed. In the middle of a crowded airport, a soldier fell to his knees, arms open wide. And his dog ran straight into them. Tears. Laughter. And the kind of hug that only comes after surviving hell together. She remembered me, Tom whispered. She knew her dad. Taylor doesn't sniff for bombs anymore. She sniffs out squirrels in the backyard. She sleeps next to Tom's bed. And everywhere he goes, she's right there, like nothing ever changed. But war leaves scars, even on dogs. Toward the end of her service, Taylor started shutting down. If Tom picked up a weapon, she wouldn't move. She knew what came next. And she couldn't face it anymore. Dogs get PTSD too, Tom says. Just like us. But now, with love, safety, and time, those invisible wounds are slowly healing. Taylor wasn't the only dog Tom saved. While waiting for her return, he found Harley, a boxer left for dead, shot and abandoned. Some souls are too strong to give up. Tom knew that, because Taylor taught him. Molly's kindness didn't stop at one fight. Today, she runs a nonprofit, reuniting more heroes with the dogs who saved them. And Tom now serves on her board, making sure more reunions like his become possible. Because some heroes wear uniforms, and some walk on four paws. No matter how many years pass, no matter how many miles come between them, some bonds can never break. Tom and Taylor proved that love isn't just a word, it's a promise. And this time, they're home. Together.